Hi, my name's Raison, and today I want to look at my hook choices for natural venues. By this I mean canals, lakes, rivers, reservoirs, places like this, non-commercial fishing. A lot of emphasis these days does get put on commercial fisheries, and like I say, a lot of people tend to overlook covering the gear that they use for other venues, natural venues. I keep my choices quite simple. I tend to use a lot of the same hooks for different styles of fishing. But today I've picked out 6 or 7 of my favourite choices for fishing natural venues. I'm going to start with the tried and trusted Gamakatsu animal hook. Again, this is a hook for fishing for big fish, whether it's barbel, chub, bream on rivers, big eels on canals, any kind of bonus fishing when you're fishing lobworms, bunches of casters, those days when you're fishing across to cover and you need to pull the fish away. I've used this hook on some very big international matches and also quite big domestic matches, and this is the one I use when I'm fishing heavy line and I want to be able to pull. This is accounted for fish in excess of double figures on the Trent. I've had a 10-pound 6-ounce barbel on these hook, right down to chub in nationals on the northern canals, and it really is a fantastic hook. Going on to one of my all-time favourite hooks when I'm fishing natural venues is the B560. This hook has become one of the top ones in my armoury when I'm fishing maggots, casters, worms. It's a hook that I used extensively on the Gloucester Canal in last year's Division 1 National. I won a couple of big matches there as well as my section, and actually finished second in my section on the National using this hook in a size 16. It's a very good hook for bream, for smaller bonus fish like tench and smaller chub. Again, it's just a little bit of a step down. And again, a hook along a very similar sort of style hook but a slightly different shape is a Gamakatsu B711. Again, for lobworms, when you're not fishing for massive fish like big barbel or big chub, this is my number one hook. It's a nice light hook, and again, as you know with me, bait presentation is first and foremost. And if I can use a big strong hook that is slightly lighter, as long as I know I'm still going to get the fish in, this is definitely my number one choice. I actually caught a chub on this on the Stainforth and Keeby Canal in the Division 1 National and helped my team to winning it by winning my section. So again, as you can see, it's a hook that I'll use when I'm under pressure in big matches, and I'll put all my faith in that. Coming down to more canal style fishing. Obviously, the G-point all round, again for squats, pinkies, even bread punch. It's a barbless hook, but again, like I've said and I keep repeating myself, bait presentation first and foremost, and barbless hooks enable you to hook maggots like pinkies, squats, maggots and bread punch with no damage at all to the bait. Like I say, when I put double pinky on or double squat or single maggot in the winter on these canals, I want that hook bait to be moving as much as possible, and the all-rounds give me that unbelievably fine hook and that barbless bait presentation, so there's no barb to actually put any extra damage onto that maggot or pinky. So again, for nice light fishing, that's one of the hooks in my armoury. Going on to a very similar hook, again, it's a hook that you will all have heard of. It's the B511. It's a barbed version, very similar to the G-point all-round. Again, for those days when I want to use a barbed hook, it's my number one bread punch hook. Very good hemp hook in size 18s and 16s. A lot of the top hemp anglers through the country use it. But like I say, it's my number one bread punch hook for when I want to use a barbed hook. Why would I want to use a barbed hook over a barbless hook? Again, when I'm catching smaller fish on bread punch, a barb is very important. Obviously, it's easier to let your line go slack. That way you want that barb just to hold it in. It's a very nice hook to use. Comes in very nice sizes, again 14s right the way up to 26s, so it can be used for squats, pinkies as well as bread punch. Now going on to the all-time best known hook for small fish fishing is the green Gamakatsu. The best bait presentation of any hook. The only downside is that it's very light and not that strong at all. But like I say, those days when you're fishing bloodworm, joker, squats, even bread punch on very hard, cold, clear canals, this is the hook that will definitely get you some more bites. It's a bit stronger than it actually looks, but when you look at it, it's a very fine green wire, and you can see why the bait presentation is 100% on this hook. It's that good and that light, this hook, that I've even used the size 16s on single joker fishing off bottom for roach here at Gold Valley. And like I say, the bait presentation is unbelievable. It is a hook that you all would have heard of. If you do fish very hard natural venues in the winter and bites are hard to come by and the fish aren't that big, this has definitely got to be in your armoury, because I know over the years this hook has caught me a lot more fish. Now, one hook that I have started using quite a lot is the LS range from Gamakatsu. It's an A1 hard hook. Again, it's a different kind of metal. It doesn't go blunt. Very sharp. Again, it's a dark hook, and again, it's a hook that I've used extensively in the winter. Bait presentation is fantastic. It's got a barb on it, so you do get a little bit of extra damage to the bait. But for those days when you're fishing for bonus fish in the winter, some big skimmers, some big roach, maybe even an odd crucian, and you're allowed to use barbed hooks, this has become my number one hook. I know I say that a lot of my hooks are my number one, and they all are for different aspects of my fishing. There's 6 or 7 of my favourite patterns for natural waters. I hope that that makes your selection easier, and I hope also that you see why I stick to just a few different hooks. When you're sitting at home in your tackle room and you want to tie some different hooks up, obviously it's nice to have in mind the different hooks for different ones. They're tried, they're trusted, they've not let me down, and I can virtually say that they will not let you down.